What is up, everybody? Mad Outdoorsman here. Well, folks, just finished up an overnight camping trip out in the woods in my hot tent. Had a good time last night. Ended up going live. For those of you that joined me on my live stream, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. It was my first live stream, so it was just pretty much random discussion. And yeah, there'll be many more. My goal is for this summer, when my regular campground opens up, to do campfire talk out in front of the fire pit on my campsite. When I'm glamping. This is not glamping. This is hot tent camping. So if that said, I'll take you for a little bit of a tour now that it's daylight. This is my first time using this hot tent. Some people did ask me, hey, Mad Outdoorsman, what kind of hot tent is this? And this is called a Pamali Stove Hut 70 hot tent, guys, okay? And you can get it from the Pamali website itself, or you can get it from Amazon. I got it from Amazon, this one. And they run about $200. I am no way, shape, or form affiliated with Pamali. It's just the brand that I went with. So moving forward, pardon the mess, all right? But I am camping after all. I just wanted to show you a little bit of my living area, all right? But before I do that, I will show you the hut part. So this is why they call it the stove hut, because there's an area here in the tent where you can put the stove, stack your wood up, okay, and that way it'll be out of the way. And then as far as the living area of the tent itself, here we go. Just a sleeping area here. All right, I got a side over here where I just keep my gear. Okay. Got my lantern. All right. So that's really it. I mean, they call this a two-person tent, but with the way I camp, no, I don't think so. With all the gear that I have, no. There's room just enough for me. So to get into a little bit more perspective about the wood, right, I wanted to talk about this with you guys real quick. I cut down 3 trees yesterday, okay? So I had wood stacked up on each side of this stove last night and a little bit in the back. And I say it about like yay high from the top of the stove on each side, okay? I also had wood outside next to the fire pit. I'm going to be going outside in a few minutes to show you guys around. And I ended up bringing that all in. All right, I got this fire going about 5:30 last night. That's when I came in here and started cooking supper and all that. And I went through all of that wood, all right, with those 3 trees that I cut down. All right, the trees that I cut down were standing dead trees. To give you a little bit of perspective, I mean, I don't have any actual logs. Non-split logs, but the trees were probably about, if you look at my water bottle here, they're probably about that yay round in diameter. All right, and they were pretty tall. I mean, at least 20 or 30 foot tall trees, So I cut those bad Larrys down and I split them up into like 1 foot logs, and then I split the logs. So I did have plenty of wood to get me through the night, and then some here this morning, and I'm going to pretty much burn up most of the rest of this wood before I pack up and take off. But the point I wanted to make is this stove, all right, it's a Pamali, and it's a mini wood stove, they call it. All right, it's a tent stove, guys. All right, and I'd say about every 30 minutes or so, I have to reload this Bad Larry. Okay. So that really doesn't give you a good night's sleep. You know, if you have to spend the entire night reloading it. And I can tell you right now, it was cold last night. It's still cold this morning. We got a fairly temperature of 6 degrees outside right now. I mean, it's nice and toasty in here. I wouldn't be able to tell, but I'm going to be able to tell in a minute because we're going to be going outside. So I got off that live stream around 10 o'clock last night, and it was lights out for me around midnight last night. So I took a nice non-split log. I call it my bedtime log. And I threw it in the stove along with a few split pieces here. And Mad Outdoorsman went nut night. Okay. And again, I was probably around close to midnight. So I'd say about 2:45 this morning, I woke up to, take care of some business. And it was freezing in here. The stove was out and it was frigid. And, I was just too tired. So I just toughed it out, curled up in a sleeping bag here, took the wool blanket, covered myself over with it, and toughed it out until about 7:30 this morning. And that's when I got the fire going again. So the thing is, again, it's like about every 30 minutes or so, you got to reload the stove. All right, that's the thing with these tent stoves. All right, but we're back in action. Got up this morning, heated up some water, had myself a cup of coffee, had some oatmeal for breakfast, and I'm feeling good right now. So I'm going to take you for a little bit of a tour outside of the tent. I didn't do it last night, obviously. It was just dark out. So let's go outside. This is the same campsite that I used in my last video when I was doing the winter tarp camping. All right, but this is it, guys. This is Stove Hut 70. This is my hot tent. All right. I do have the stovepipe guide out this time. For those of you that are aware of what happened in my my last trip. So with my last trip, I had the pipe bend in half because I did not guy it out, and I'd say the pipe was about 3 feet longer than it is now. That's the same pipe. So what I ended up doing was I cut the pipe where it bent, and I was able to reuse it. I'm going to tell you something right now, guys, about these roll-up pipes. In my opinion, they fucking suck. All right? I wouldn't recommend them. I actually put an order in last night for pipe sections that connect that will fit this stove. And moving forward in the future, I will be using that style of pipe. I'm not a fan of these roll-up pipes. You know, some people are, because they're more rucksack friendly for when you're doing this kind of camping. You know, it's all about, bringing as much gear as possible with you. You know, but I'm just going to deal with it. But yeah, other than that, little fire pit that I had last night. You see my twig stove over there all dismantled. And that's pretty much it for out here. You know, I'm out in the middle of the woods. All right. You know, it's just one of the many camp spots that I made for myself out here. And like I said on my live stream last night, this will be like a secondary bug out location. You know, I'm far enough away from people, from roads. I mean, I'm way out here. You know, this is thousands upon thousands of acres of just raw forest. You know, the only thing I hear is jetliners flying overhead. That's really it. There are dirt roads that run through this area. There are hiking trails, but I'm nowhere near any of them. So, but yeah, I think I already told you the temperature. I checked the temperature this morning. It's 6 degrees right now. It's cold. So I used a Ridgeline to prop the tent up. I also did use tent poles, just for extra security, for reinforcement. It was windy when I arrived here yesterday, so I felt better with the Ridgeline, you know. But, you know, I'm gonna get back in the tent. It's fucking cold out here. Ooh, pardon the mess. But yeah, big difference of temperature in here. Like, it's nice and toasty. I mean, I can get away with taking my flannel off here if I wanted to. I don't even need to wear the hat in here. So it's nice and comfortable. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I had a good time. Again, it's all about putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations, you know. And I know some of you are probably saying right now, "Oh, I'm at outdoorsman. You don't look really too uncomfortable." Well, now I'm not, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, though. I was pretty much in a survival situation yesterday. I mean, I got out here. Probably about close to an hour hike from where my truck is parked. And I got here, guys, and it was cold. It was, I think it was like 13 degrees when I arrived here yesterday, late morning yesterday. And I was sweating. And, you know, when it's cold and you're sweating, that's no bueno. All right, so right away, survival situation, right? You know, so the first thing I did is I started getting some firewood processed, you know. And those 3 trees that I cut down and then split took me about 2.5, close to 3 hours, you know. So, and I sweat even more doing that. I was drinking lots of water, you know, so I was running out of water, but I did have a creek down here, or a running stream rather, where I was able to get more water and purify air on the stove. And that's where I did cook all my meals at, right in here on top of the stove top. So yeah, I mean, I knew I needed to get a fire going, right? I knew I needed to get warm. You know, I had to take my outer layers of clothes off here and dry them out because the ground was frozen, but I mean, I was still getting wet, and it was just an unsafe situation, you know. So with that said, I couldn't fuck around, you know, and I had to really concentrate on what I was doing, stay focused, and keep going. And I did. And the thing about this kind of camping, you know, for me to reward is this right here, you know, getting that wood processed, getting that stove going, getting a nice hot meal cooked up, you know, nice cup of coffee, relaxing, you know, watching a movie on my device here. You know, that's the payoff for me. All right. And obviously the peace and quiet and the sense of accomplishment. So it makes it all worth it, you know. But yeah, I mean, anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you around show you what my setup was here, and I hope you all enjoyed it. You know, like I said, I'm gonna try to get one more trip in before it warms up with a new pipe, because I do not like this one. Can't stress that enough. And that's it. I'm gonna burn out the rest of this wood, get packed up, get cleaned up, and head on out of here. All right. Mad Outdoorsman.